Okay, we're on to Revelation 13. As I stood on the sandy beach, I saw a beast coming up out of the sea with 10 horns and 7 heads. On his horns, pardon my yawning, he had 10 royal crowns, diadems, and blasphemous titles, names on his heads. And the beast that I saw resembled a leopard, and his feet were like those of a bear, and his mouth was like that of a lion. And to him the dragon gave his own might and power and its own throne and dominion. And one of his heads seemed to have a deadly wound, but his death stroke was healed. And the whole earth went after the beast in amazement and admiration. They fell down and paid homage to the dragon because he had bestowed on the beast all his dominion and authority. They also praised and worshipped the beast, exclaiming, "Who is a match for the beast, and who can make war against it?" Okay, listen to this. This is a false trinity, a false version of God that's developing here. Because the Father gave to the Son his power and his dominion, and he shares it, and everyone worships the Father and the Son. So here we have the dragon, which is Satan, giving his power to this beast, which is actually the 666 number of the beast represents that there's a human element. This beast is human. The number 6 applies to humans because humans were made on the 6th day. And I've heard it described as a number of industry, and humans can create things, they can make stuff, but it just isn't perfect, like 7, which is the number of God, the number of Sabbath rest, the number of not by might nor by strength, but by my spirit, says the Lord. So the people, and the beast was given the power of speech, uttering boastful and blasphemous words. And he was given freedom to exert his authority and to exercise his will during 42 months. 3.5 years. He opened his mouth to speak slanders against God, blaspheming his name in heaven and his abode, even vilifying those who live in heaven. So the beast had a wound that was healed, and everyone was amazed. Just like it's a counterfeit of Jesus Christ being killed, dead, and resurrected. So he was further permitted to wage war on God's holy people, the saints, to overcome them. And the power was given to him to extend his authority over every tribe and people and tongue and nation. So this beast system extends over every tribe, tongue, and nation. All the inhabitants of the earth will fall down in adoration, pay homage to him. Everyone whose name has not been recorded in the book of life of the Lamb that was slain in sacrifice from the foundation of the world. If anyone is able to hear, let him listen. By the way, the first death, the first slaying, was a lamb. God made coverings out of this. Well, it says in Genesis, he made them skins of animals to cover them when he kicked them out of the garden. And that was part of the lamb being slain at the foundation, or the fall. The word foundation actually has the same meaning as fall, which was the beginning of time when Adam and Eve sinned. So God could have killed them right there, said, "When in the day you eat of it, you'll die." But he did a sacrifice. He killed the lamb instead. That's how they knew to do the sacrifice. It's because they saw and they knew, okay, this lamb being killed was killed for us so that we could continue living and have our life from that lamb. And then God did a higher octave of day, because one day to the Lord is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years like a day. So Adam and Eve did not live 1,000 years. They died in the day. The 1,000 years. No one lived longer than 1,000 years. Methuselah lived close, 972 or something. Whoever, if anyone is able to hear, let him listen. Whoever leads into captivity will himself go into captivity. If anyone slays with the sword he must be slain. Herein is the call for the patience and the faith and the fidelity of the saints, God's people. Then I saw another beast rising up out of the land itself. He had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spoke and roared like a dragon. Watch out when someone looks like a lamb but roars like a dragon. He exerts all the power and right and control of the former beast in his presence. So the first beast rose up out of the water, out of the sea, which is the nations, the multitude. And this is resident of the 3rd day of creation, where God separates and there's the sea and the land. And now this beast is rising up out of the land. Some people believe that the sea represents Europe. It was a highly populated place. And that's where the Roman Catholic Church is, whatever. And that monolithic beast system, Whore of Babylon system that happened, and was really ugly, Middle Ages and onward. But what happened in the land that was less populated, the great expanse of North America? And I know it was populated with indigenous First Nations people, but a lot less. And what emerged out of that land? And is there any connection where a beast from the sea empowers this new beast that rose up out of the land, has 2 horns like a lamb, and spoke and roared like a dragon? He exerts all the power and right and control of the former beast in his presence, causes the earth and those who dwell upon it to exalt and deify the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, and to worship him. Some believe that was the Roman Catholic Church that received a deadly wound, and people thought it was done with. There was a time where the Pope was even imprisoned. But then the wound was healed. He performs great signs, startling miracles, even making fire fall from the sky to earth in men's sight. Well, there's only one country that's made fire fall from heaven to earth, on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And because of the signs, miracles which he allowed to perform in the presence of the first beast, he deceives those who inhabit the earth, commanding them to erect a statue, an image in the likeness of the beast who was wounded by the small sword and lived. He is permitted to impart the breath of life, not the real breath of life, but to breathe life into the beast's image, so that the statue of the beast could actually talk, and cause to be put to death those who would not bow down and worship the image of the beast. This is like Daniel chapter 3. Also, he compels all alike, both small and great, with both the rich and the poor, both free and slave, to be marked with an inscription stamped on their right hands or their foreheads, so that no one will have the power to buy or sell unless he bears the stamp, mark, inscription, the name of the beast and the number of his name. Here is room for discernment, a call for the penetration, the wisdom of interpretation. Let anyone who has intelligence, penetration, and insight enough. So, by the way, during COVID, people could not buy or sell without this something that had been injected into their arm. Calculate the number of the beast, for it is a human number, the number of a certain man. This number is 666. Then I looked, and behold, the Lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000. Let's come in next video, chapter 14.